incredibly impressed both by the caliber of the speakers. Christoph, in particular from the World Energy Council, I thought was purely tremendous in the way he painted the macroeconomic issues and the micro availability of some of the core concerns. The attendees themselves, being such a diverse audience set, both in age ranges and experience, be they lawyers, engineers and others, really help contribute to a great set of questions and a great set of outputs.
My favourite part of the Global Energy Summit 10th edition was the kind of collaborations that I've heard. I've heard a lot of conversations in the breaks, and also people sort of talking to one another on the panel and talking, asking the kind of questions that are really the questions of the time, and that has to be my favourite of the whole summit.
The first was Andrew Gould. To hear that many years of experience and at the time of transition from two chairmanships, it's a great way to spend the afternoon. Secondly, from BGG's perspective, the chance to connect with so many students from so many schools and to connect with some fantastic candidates. And third, and I think this is a real sign of a conference that's on the up, I'd say the amount of business that was done on the sidelines as well. I was able to meet 3 or 4 clients and potential clients over coffee, and already made some connections, both old and new, which we'll definitely take forward.
Just getting exposure to the types of leaders that you had here today in the whole energy sector, and just understanding, the trends that they're thinking about going forward over the next sort of 10 years is fantastic, just to listen to it and hear what those are.
We're dealing with an incredibly important industry. I don't think there's any industry as important as the energy industry at the moment. And today the quality of the speakers was incredible. I learned so much about the industry. It's kind of never ending, and you really hit out there and got high caliber speakers. There was nothing dull. The presentations were all really informative. It was incredibly well run. Nothing ran over. The panels were good. It was a really, really enjoyable day.
I thought today was very, very good actually. I've spent 20 years in the energy sector, over 20 years, and I guess as time goes by you spend more and more time in your own specialism. And mine is now running a renewable power company. So coming back to the GE yesterday and getting immersed in kind of broad energy again, and hearing the challenges of the oil and gas sector, the significant challenges in terms of supplying and meeting the needs going forward into the midst of the 21st century, and the disconnectedness of policy and the challenges of pulling it all together, I thought was fascinating. It put some of my own challenges into perspective. I feel slightly nervous, I suppose, but also, it was a fascinating day, and I suppose it's given me a few new ideas to take away and a few awareness of a few new challenges, I think, as well.
My takeaway is basically that there are few what we call the black swans in the energy sector right now, which is the likes of the unconventionals. We've seen presentations from people saying this is what the unconventional gas will do. We've seen what the projection is from the World Energy Council in terms of two scenarios represented. And for me, I have learned, and it's feeding directly into my research. And I believe it's a very good conference, and next year I'll be here for sure. But at the end of the whole conference, what is being disseminated is information and data that you don't usually get one day within 10 hours. And I mean, that's the essence of my being here, I'm sure most people.
There are a number of stakeholders, in this industry that makes a solution more plausible. However, policy is required, across the globe to be coordinated somehow to give us, the objectives that we want to achieve.
Panel discussions, they keep you on edge because a lot of very interesting and challenging topics are discussed, and the panelists are challenged by the audience. So, for example, the theme this year in the energy industry is, yes, floating LNG is a big thing. A lot of these companies like Shell are innovators, they're doing these big mega projects, but they're not making the returns. They're not getting the return on capital employed, and shareholders are asking those type of tough questions, and the audience today was asking those type of tough questions. And Bruce Stinston, who was there from Shell, gave his response, saying that these projects are very complex. They often require a lot of different approvals, and there is a lot of capacity issues in the industry. but just having these issues discussed in this open manner, I think gives such a huge value.
I think terrifically, just to start with, I think the breadth of experiences of the speakers and the roles that they brought in was brilliant. It painted a very varied and comprehensive picture of the industry. I think the logistics and the venue itself was flawless, literally. And the format of the event that you organized also created a general picture of what we wanted to understand, but also through the panel discussions, filled in the details through the discussions. So excellent job.